I have shit together, I will now get my Twitch open, and I will double check that your audio is not coming in utter potato, because if it is coming in utter potato, I'm gonna have to do like a 30-second speed run of fixing my shit.
You know what's hilarious?
Yeah?
The person who followed you's name is the local tea potato.
I know.
That's great. Hi, Shard.
Oh, the audio's not too bad. Excellent.
Oh, excellent. That's great. Hi, Shard.
Yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. Just to double check from Shard, because Shard is present in the chat, Callie's audio sounds okay? Because I remember the last time I had Callie's audio running through Discord and had a browser open at the same time, Discord shat the bed. Hey, Ruthie. Welcome.
Hey, Ru.
I'm gonna need to re-put my headphones on in a second because I had to put them on with my earbuds underneath and it was just awful. Not optimal? Really? Really?
Hi.
Why is it scratchy? Because it sounded fine on my end. Like when I had my earbuds in, just now, it sounded fine. Hey, local tea potato. Hello there, welcome to chat. It is a pleasure. But yeah, like I just had my earbuds in. Hang on, I need to readjust my headset. I just had my earbuds in and it sounded fine to me. So that's really weird. Why would it be scratchy? It does sound better on Callie's end. Yeah, because this happened last time, is that it sounded really scratchy because of, like, I think the amount of stuff I had open or something. Or, like, something went weird with my browser open at the same time as Discord and it didn't like that. But it, like I say, I've just had my earbuds into my phone and it sounded fine on my phone, so I don't know why it would sound scratchy to you guys. Right, I'm gonna do this real quick. Let me do this, and I'm gonna close this. Yeah, speak up, Callie.
Speaking up. I have a mouthful of nuts, but okay.
Phrasing.
Oh, come on.
Nah.
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 We are just utter idiots. This is what happens when we do chill stream.
Oh, yeah.
We just turn into fucking
Look,
morons.
I figured I might as well have a snack
while I do testing.
while we were doing this.
Yeah. I don't know about best idiots, but definitely idiots.
Yes. Nope. I take it. We're best idiots.
Oh, fair enough then. Best idiots it is.
No, actually, we're second best idiots. The first best idiots are Bill and Ted.
Yeah, that's reasonable. You know, that's something that I haven't really seen properly. Like, you know, the only thing I know of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is the fucking... Was it an NES or SNES game? And the only reason I know anything about that was the fucking AVGN. Okay, see you,
realize
Shard.
we actually watched that. Bye, Shard.
I don't actually remember that, no. But yeah, is Callie sounding okay? Considering that you're now dropping in the lurk, I'm going to assume that Callie is at least sounding halfway decent on this side. Because I really don't get why she'd sound scratchy to you, but, like, she sounded perfectly fine to me. Like, she sounded just as normal. And I had, like, my headset off so that I could hear it properly through
Shard's headphones are allergic to my voice.
Yeah, clearly. Except the thing is you sound fine on that end, so what the fuck's going on? A common question
idea.
in this fucking chat. Right, yeah, okay. I know what I'm gonna try. I'm going to close my other browser window, because I have two windows open, because I have my actual browser stuff. Somebody remind me to hit Shift-Control-T at the end of this and reopen all of those so that I don't lose those fucking tabs, because I kinda need them.
Okay.
Okay, right. Actually, before we start, we do this. Not exclam. We do that. And in this chat,
Okay.
we do... Yes, I am aware of the chat rules. I've only been here repeatedly for like half my life. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. We brought shoutouts in both ends. Everybody, that's the co-streamers. Congratulations. So, Showdown.
Yeah.
How we are going to be doing this, just to explain this to the full chat, because we sort of negotiated this a bit beforehand, or, well, I gave suggestions and Callie's not, like, down to do it, so, works for me. We are going to set up the battle. Yeah, General Kenobi joke, friend spotted. But yeah, we are going to set up the battle, and then we are going to disconnect from the call, and...
I'm just going to mute, honestly.
You're just going to mute? Okay, I'll just mute as well. Either way, we're going to stop talking to each other, and we're going to... So we can then... I'm going to minimize her chat, Callie is going to minimize my chat so that we can't stream snipe. This is where I am asking for a vow of kindness from people, which is do not tell me what Callie is doing. And similarly, I ask for a vow of kindness in Callie's chat, do not tell Callie what I am doing.
Yeah, hard same.
So that's what that is. So we will be able to kind of verbalize our strategies to the other members of the team, or the other members of the team, aka the chat. And then obviously like we go through our strategies as we go. And then after the match, we are going to use, I'm going to use the upload, so you can upload the, like you can archive them after each session. So I will archive it, send the link to Callie and reconnect the call. And then when we have reconnected the call, we're going to both watch the replay. Apparently we're getting a hydrate check already. Excellent.
Damn.
We will both run through the replay together and kind of explain to each other what we were thinking at each part of the stream. And basically, I'm going to use that as an excuse to break down some strategy stuff a bit more for Callie, and we're just going to have a bit of a fun time with that. Yes, do the sip. But yeah, because the entire goal of this is to kind of get Callie a bit more used to random battles as a whole, strategy battles as a whole like this. So, obviously the important part is more like the talking afterwards and not the actual battle, which is why we're doing it this way. We have not quite decided if we're going to do a round 2 afterwards, or if we're just going to like kind of jump into, let's say in the team builder, I build something and like explain to Callie why I'm doing these things, and then I try and get Callie to build something and she explains to me why she's doing these things. But we haven't decided that completely yet, and then after we're bored of Showdown stuff, we're going to jump into some shiny hunting for the rest of the stream.
Yeah.
So, without the further ado, actually, I will introduce everybody in my end of the chat at least to this other window that I have open here that you can see. It's a type calculator, because as much as I do know the entire type chart, sometimes you forget what things are like actually resisted by or weak to other things. So what you can do in this is you can select a Pokemon and it will tell you what it is weak to. So if I have a rock, like, grass type, it will tell me what the weaknesses are and stuff. Oops, I just accidentally fucking muted myself because Discord got in the way. That's one of the first times that's happened in a while. Anyway, yeah, so this is going to be kind of my little extra thing in the background. Callie has access to it as well. I sent Callie a link to it earlier.
I may or may not be using it.
Yeah, she'll decide if she's using it when she actually needs to. But yeah, so it's just kind of there as an extra thing because we're not putting... So one thing you can do in Showdown is you can put time limits on how long you have to choose moves. I think the default is 5 minutes. We're not doing that because the end result is just that we're going to be talking half the time anyway, so who gives a shit? Like, I don't really care if it takes 10 minutes for Callie or I to choose a move because we're going to be explaining things and talking and, like, doing strats with people. So, who gives a damn? Also, we are not above, well, at the very least, like, I am not above backseating. If somebody wants to see me do something, I may or may not take it under advisement if you want to tell me to do things. So, like...
And if you guys see me doing something really fucking stupid and my reasons for it are really fucking dumb, tell me.
Yeah, because one thing that's nice about Showdown is that as long as, like, the other player hasn't also chosen their move, you can cancel your move. And you can just go back and re-choose something else. So yeah, that's kind of how this is going to roll. Now that we have spent 10 minutes getting everything set up and making sure everyone's audio is at least vaguely functional, I guess I'll see you on the other side. I believe you've got my user and stuff. It's the same user as last time, so...
I don't...
You need to choose a name at the top corner so that I can actually find you.
Yeah, mine is the same name.
Yeah. So, there you are. You've got a different icon this time. Oh god, we're not doing random battles. Fuck that. Yeah, just other people talking, you making spiders. Good plan. Right, so, with all that in mind, I believe this is the point where we both hit the mute button and disappear into our own private holes for a little while. I will send Callie the challenge in a moment. And
Alright.
we are going to get into this. God help us all.
Here we go.
Callie, I wish you luck.
Yeah.
We are both going
I'm
to
gonna get my ass kicked and it's gonna be great.
We're both gonna fucking need it, but yeah, we're getting our asses, like, you're gonna get your ass handed to you a little bit, but let's see how much of an ass handing you can give to me in return. Because you did manage to get 2 kills last time we did this. Like, I don't know what people know about chat, like, in chat is a bit off wobbly, but like, yeah, she managed to trick me out with an item at one point, which actually got a kill straight off because the item she used managed to get a good switch in, which just instantly died to the Pokemon that was sitting on the other team. So that was pretty good. But yeah, let's see if we can get more kills than Sacrifice and a red card attack. Because I'm sure you will, honestly. My team is a bit weird, so... But yeah.
Alright, let's go.
Let's go. And now we mute. Okay. We are both on mute. Neither of us can see shit, and I've got Kali's chat closed. So I'm going to be sending the challenge here. The team that I am using is AG2, which is currently on screen. So it's Alakazam, Iron Hands, Roaring Moon, Roserade, what's the fuck's your name? Scarlet? Is that what your name is? Hold on. Skeledirge, that's it. And Sylveon. So it's a pretty decent team set, actually. Like, it's not bad by any means. So I'm going to send Kali that challenge real quick. She's going to pop over with her team. Hopefully she picks the right one. And this is the point where we get into things. Also, warning, Showdown volume is loud. I'm going to be fucking with the volume a lot, but Showdown is often quite loud when things are actually running. So this is a problem. I'm just going to turn the volume up a little bit so that when it starts, it's not, like, dead silent. Oh, they've actually fixed the volume so it's quieter. Thank God for that. Anyway, turn the volume up a little bit more then. So yeah, this is an interesting team. We've got... Okay, so the biggest threats here at this moment, with my team involved, is that we've got Gagarical, we've got a Clodsire, and we've got an Azumarill all on that side. Both of us bought a Sylveon, which is interesting. So with my start, my biggest threats, like I say, is that set of water types, because I have a fire type lead, but I can deal with those with Roserade if I need to. Iron Hands will also be pretty good against Azumarill, and also Gagarical, but it won't be very good against the Clodsire. If I have to make a guess, her lead is probably either Sylveon or Dragapult. I'm going to roll with my Sylveon. Oh, she's leading... Okay, you're leading Gagarical. Okay, that's interesting. So, Gagarical here is a rock type, and it's quite powerful. I believe it's... this is one of the Pokemon that I don't know a lot about, because it's new gen. I believe it's quite physically defensive, but not very specially defensive. But either way, I want to keep... Sylveon. So part of the reason that I bought the Roserade was partly as a counter for... Glimora, if she bought Glimora again, because that thing can set up poison spikes, and Roserade can neutralize the poison spikes. So that was one of the primary reasons I bought that. With that all sort of in mind, I can sacrifice Roserade reasonably easily here if I need to, and use that as a scout. The only sketchy thing then is that I've got to be careful with this being a rock type, because Roserade is going to be good against Azumarill, because I don't really have anything else that can properly deal with Azumarill, because Roserade is both my grass and my poison type, so Azumarill becomes a massive threat if I can't get a good Thunder Punch off with Iron Hands. Interestingly enough, actually, Alakazam is one of my major sacrifice plays for this one. Alakazam is primarily only going to be useful against Clodsire, because it's my only Psychic type, but I also have access to Psyshock on here. And hello there, Dying Fox. Welcome to some competitive stuff. I'm asking for a potential vow of silence if you're also in the other chat, but... Yeah, so the main thing here is that I can either... Because both Roserade and Alakazam are quite important later, but they can also be reasonably easily sacrificed here in order to do something else. Roaring Moon is actually my weak link on this team. I'm going to send in Roaring Moon, because it's actually my weak link here. Oh, wow, okay, Fissure. I am very glad that I went for that. Right. So no matter what happens here, I'm going to be outspeeding either with Alakazam or with Roserade. I'm going to send in Roserade and go for the Energy Ball here, because the idea is I'm going to be... So I'm already well above it in speed. Energy Ball is stab, super effective, so super effective is double the power. So my power currently is 90, so super effective makes it 180, and then half again. Yeah, I do have quite an interesting team. This was mostly set up for the fun. It's going to be interesting. I'm having fun with this. But yeah, so... This is gonna do... It's gonna hit like a fucking truck, basically. So I'm gonna do that. There we are. Good, good, good. So Sylveon switch here. That's a very good fucking read, especially because, in case you hadn't noticed, my Roserade is Choice Scarf. So Choice Scarf means that I am now locked into Energy Ball. In return for the fact that, I would get more speed. So this is actually a really interesting situation where I'm on the back edge here because I don't have a good Sylveon counter aside from Roserade. And guess who's fucking here? Locked into a move that isn't super effective. So I have to switch. because I cannot stay in against this thing, is the thing. I actually just cannot. Other sacrifices that I have. Skeledirge is probably my other sacrifice at the moment, because a lot of ghost types, but Sylveon has Shadow Ball, Alakazam has Shadow Ball, Roserade has Shadow Ball. I bought Shadow Ball on basically everything, because Shadow Ball is just generally good all around. So yeah, I'm gonna switch to Oh, Quick Claw. Okay, that's an interesting move. And, okay, Tank and Moonblast. Quick Claw is interesting on this. I've not seen that before, I don't think. I'm actually kind of expecting a switch here, but I'm not sure what... If she's gonna switch, she's gonna bring in a Azumarill. So I'm gonna Seed Bomb. Because if she switches, she'll bring a Azumarill in, because Azumarill has the super effective. The other option is this Sylveon having Shadow Ball, actually. If the Sylveon has Shadow... Because she knows my Sylveon set is the thing, or she should do, because I've mentioned it before. But if she knows my Sylveon set, then she's got Shadow Ball. If she's not using that set, then she's switching to Azumarill this turn for... Yeah, switching to Azumarill for the Fairy type. Or alternatively, I guess you could either go Houndstone or Dragapult for the Ghost type. So actually, I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball here. That's a better idea, because Shadow Ball hits neutrally on most things. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. Ah, Pixelate Return. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so Pixelate Return running with that. That was actually something where I sort of didn't think about for a second. Okay. Torch Song, I'm going to see if I can... There, okay. This is interesting. There we go. Okay, yeah, resisted. But I also get some special attack. I've got 150. Okay, so there's a good chance that she can outspeed, depending on what her speed stat is. And she's got Fissure. And the Fissure's the scary part. It's low fucking accuracy, but it could kill me. I'm gonna try for the... Okay, cool. I outspeed. Oh, that's interesting. No fucking damage there. So... I don't know what Purifying Salt does, actually. But the fact that that did very little damage worries me. But still, Skeledirge continues to kind of be one of my few sacrifice Pokemon. Because... when it comes down to it, like, what it does can be done by other Pokemon. So I'm gonna keep going, and... Yeah, I'm gonna test Shadow Ball. Okay, Shadow Ball does quite a bit, so that's not... Oh, there, okay. Yeah, so this is one of Callie's favorite tactics, Stealth Rock. She was running this last... so when we did a session on Wednesday... Okay, cool. Yeah, if that's what that does, then that would make sense. Yeah, so she was running this last... When we did a practice match with a different team on Wednesday, she was running Glimmora. And that thing, obviously, was quite scary because that thing was trap set. I very much should have expected that something would be running Stealth Rock. So Stealth Rock puts me at a bit of a disadvantage here because I will now take damage when switching in. So when switching in, I've now got to be careful of when I switch and what I switch in. Hello, Clodsire. Right. Hello, Clodsire. We knew you were coming. Poison Point. Poison Ground is going to be neutral to Seed Bomb. I'm probably faster, but Seed Bomb is physical. I really should have run this more special than physical. I ran it as a mixed attacker. That was a bit silly. I think I'm going to do something a bit risky here. Alakazam, aside from Clodsire, doesn't counter anything particularly well. And it doesn't actually run Shadow Ball either, so it can't counter the Ghost types very well. So I'm going to swap for the Alakazam for the Skeledirge here. I'm losing... Oh god, I have to stand up. Yes, I'm aware. Oh, Earthquake. Okay, yeah, that's big. That's bad. Okay, I'm standing up, and now slightly afraid. So yeah, there's the fucking Pointed Stones. Okay. Here's where it starts getting a bit sketchy. Right. I was running Seed Bomb specifically because I wanted something that could potentially counter water types if I needed to, and it doesn't get any good grass special moves. I'm gonna run Psyshock. Okay, that does half. Okay, that's not bad. And that, yeah. Ooh, okay. Poison my Sylveon. That's a problem. It's not too big of a problem. Sylveon was going to be on a time limit anyway because of the ghost types, but I do kind of want to keep it for Dragapult. I'm going to see if I can kill it this turn with the Psyshock because I should outspeed. If she doesn't switch, then something else is taking a Psyshock, and that's also pretty good. Okay, yeah, Azumarill coming in for the Psyshock. I didn't check what time it was when I stood up. Oh well. Ooh, leftovers, okay. Because here's the thing. I need Roserade. But Roserade is going to have to come in here just simply due to Azumarill's everything. Okay, good. Iron Tail and a miss. Always a good sign. So, this is the part where I start bopping it. Sludge Bomb. They're both going to be the same damage. So it just depends on which one I like more. Do I want to lower special defense if she lives? No, we'll go for Sludge Bomb. Because in the end, lowering special defense is not great. Okay, cool. Oh, hey, Dragon Bolt. Okay. Do we poison? No, that's a problem. And of course, I'm now stuck. Again. God, she's good at this. Back to Sylveon. Fuck it. Because, yeah. Yeah, this team's interesting. Oh well, I deserve this. That's a scare. So I think the thing is that I'm not winning this because I am... Yeah, I can't outspeed that. I'm very fucking slow. Well, here's the thing. Okay, Callie isn't competitive. We have both built not for competitive battling. We have very much built this... Holy Draco Meteor, hello. That's interesting. I don't run Draco Meteor very often, so I sort of forget that it gets it sometimes. I forget, like, it does things. But yeah, neither of us are actually competitive battlers at all. We're doing this for the fuck-around status, so we're basically doing this just to kind of, like, test things. So yeah, Callie's built a really powerful team here. Like, she's gone really hard on this one. You can kind of tell that mine was a bit more fuck-around than find out at this point, but yeah, like, neither of us are built for competitive. Yeah, my other team was definitely way fucking better. Hello, Clodsire, welcome back. Okay, cool, that gets rid of the Clodsire. That's nice, because my only other Pokemon is Roserade. And fuck me, I hate Roserade. That thing annoys me. Roserade is interesting, actually. I've liked using it in the past, but it can be really fucking fragile, so it can be quite annoying to actually do things with. Which is a very interesting thing to say of grass types, because usually grass types are quite fucking bulky. She's pulling off the switching to great effect here, and given the Stealth Rocks as well, she's limited me quite a bit, so that's a very good plan. Welcome back, Dragapult. Okay, I'm just gonna keep punching things. Yeah, I saw that coming. I've just gotta keep punching things and try and get as many kills as I can as I go. Okay, Ice Punch is gone, but that's fine, because Ice Punch isn't necessary for my other 3 Pokemon. As in, the opponents of the 3 Pokemon. Yeah, here's Sylveon. Yeah, I expected that. I'm not fucking outspeeding a goddamn Sylveon. So we're gonna swap. Oh, hello, Quick Claw, again. Why does Callie keep getting Quick Claw procs? Okay, that was good. That was good. That's less good, but that was good. No matter what she switches in here, it's taking pretty hard damage from a Sludge Bomb because the only thing, like, Houndstone resists it a bit. Obviously, Azumarill is a terrible switch. Yeah, there it is. Houndstone... Yeah. Azumarill. Azumarill would have been a terrible switch no matter what happens. Here's the thing, I can't switch back very well now because I will just die immediately and then lock myself into Shadow Ball. Because if I switch, I tank a hit, I probably die. Yeah, I think Callie wins this one because if I switch, I take that. Yep, there's Last Respect, I die, and now I'm stuck in Shadow Ball with Choice. This is why I don't use Choice. I'm stuck in Shadow Ball with the Choice, and then obviously it's just Azumarill and Sylveon, which both fairy types are going to well, Azumarill's... Yeah, and I die, basically. Azumarill's not going to resist. Yep, there it is. Okay. God, Last Respect is powerful. Okay, cool. That worked. That went quite well, actually. That was pretty fun. Right, give me a second while I sort out the the capture stuff. One moment. Okay, I believe that's all good. Turn my window capture back on in a second while I open the let me open the replay and then I'll turn the window capture back on. Yeah, Last Respect is really powerful.
Meeting?
Hi, yeah, we're unmuting. Good job. That was a really
expecting that.
Yeah, that was a really powerful team. Hello, Dagam, and whoever the fuck else is present in that chat that showed up while I was gone. Yeah, that was that was a really good team for what I bought. what I bought there did not have any, like, particularly good counters for a lot of what you had, and I have the other problem of a lot of my team is quite fragile, which I didn't actually realize until I bought in, but a lot of my team had quite low defenses, in terms of, like, their defense. Like,
at the door.
yeah, its defense stat was quite low, so it was kind of interesting. I would prefer if you didn't, Dying Fox. We are mostly just kind of doing this for the muck around, and we're not planning on doing much, like, active, like, just general viewing of stuff. So I prefer if you didn't, but thanks for asking, at least, because that's good. You got the, you got the replay I sent you?
Yeah, I got the replay
okay,
up.
Yeah, cool. Because, yeah, like, I bought, like, this team, actually, I have actually decided, yeah, I don't like a lot of the Pokemon that are currently being used in meta, because a fair number of these are actually, especially Iron Hands, they're currently major meta Pokemon, and, no, that thing's, like, I specialize in glass cannons. I don't specialize in fucking fragile things. Like, that's not the thing here. I want it to at least get one hit off before it fucking dies. That's the point.
Right.
But yeah, anyway.
That stealth rock was really helping me out.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I was going to comment on once we started the replay and stuff and we've got to our proper thing. I was going to comment that, but that's one of the things I said is, like, that stealth rock was hella pressure. There was also a stand-up redeemed. It's no longer redeemed, so I'm sitting the fuck back down, but you don't have to even bother. Yeah, okay, so Mega, that's actually quite interesting. Our Tuesday fight had that attempt to happen. She brought Glimora, but I knew that she had a Glimora in that team set because of what we were messing. Diagon, I just asked that you please... Dying Fox, I just asked that you please do not post your replay links in here. Like, thank you for asking, but I would prefer if you did not do that. Let me remove that.
There you go.
Thank you. But yeah, she bought Glimora, and the only reason that didn't fuck me entirely was because I bought Spin Slash. So the Sand Slash was able to kill it and then spin the next turn.
Yeah, it was rude.
Yeah, it was. It was really mean. But, like, because that's a Pokemon I don't bring. Like, that sort of thing I don't bring very often, which obviously you kind of saw here. I had a strategy if you bought Glimora, again, actually. It was a really shit strategy, but I had a strategy if you bought that. And that strategy was entirely lead with Alakazam, pray to God I kill you first turn, and if you managed to get Toxic Spikes up at any point, then Roserade could switch in and nullify them. But that was the fucking plan. It was literally Alakazam lead and pray.
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad.
I thought that you would think that I was gonna bring Glimora again, so I was tempted, but I didn't.
Yeah, that was actually funny. When I was discussing this at school today, at uni today, one of the things I mentioned was, like, one of the big things in this kind of thing is, like, predicting your opponent. And that was one of the things that we made a joke of, was a potential for out-predicting you so hard that it just fucked me over, which one of them was Glimora. That was one of the situations where it was, like, one of my friends literally said, imagine that she's like... She thinks that I'm not going to bring Glimora because it's on Team 1, so I'm going to bring it in Team 2 because she won't bring Spin, thinking that I won't bring Glimora. And it's like, yeah, because that's the kind of thing. Like, that's the kind of galaxy brain shit that people do. Anyway, do you want to start the replay off and we can play?
Should we just do it, like, 3, 2, 1, go?
Oh, I just hit play so it would, like, start, and I was just going to pause at the end of the turns and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah, because you can skip to, like, go to the next turn every single time, so...
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's a thing. I just like watching the movements and stuff.
Okay, so. Garganacl.
Yeah.
Has this thing called a blunder policy on it.
Ooh.
I put the blunder policy on it because Garganacl is slow as fuck.
Yeah.
And I gave it Fissure, which only has a 30% chance of going off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna lead with Fissure.
It's gonna fail. You're gonna get a speed boost.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna be able to
go on.
But Fissure worked every goddamn time.
That was the thing. You did miss once.
Missed, but it didn't like
fail. Yeah. So that was actually really interesting. Is two things. First off, that was a fucking shocking play at the beginning. But second off, it doesn't fail. It fails if you're like slower, yes, but it doesn't necessarily. It only like hello posse. Oh, thank you for the resub posse. I do appreciate that.
Posse.
Oh yeah, to the wave. This is wild. But yeah, it doesn't fail unless you're like what no, it's not slower. It's lower level. I think in the new games. I think it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be if you're slower, but if you're lower level, and in this there's no levels. It basically sets you to level 100. So I think that's why it didn't fail.
Up.
Yeah, it's okay because that kind of thing just kind of happens. It's one of those weird things that you have to kind of know the mechanics of to know how it works. But I think it's if you're lower level than the opponent, it fails. But not. And it used to be. It was in Gen 1. It used to be governed by speed. But in later games they changed it to level. Yeah, Sarko, we've just got done with at least Battle 1. We're not sure if we're doing another, but at least Battle 1. And Callie kicked my ass quite well. I'm very proud. But yeah, so my kind of thought train here and why it took me so long is I was looking at your team. Out of your team, Roaring Moon wasn't particularly wasn't going to be particularly useful because of the moveset it was running. It could have dealt with Houndstone, and it could have dealt with Dragapult, but it was going to be very vulnerable to that Sylveon, and I was very afraid of that Sylveon for a lot of this. And additionally, I wanted to keep my Sylveon because Sylveon was going to be Sylveon was something that I thought was going to be more useful than it was because it runs I don't know, I think you've heard my Sylveon set before, but in case you haven't, it runs both
Pixelate and...
Yeah, it's Pixelate Quick Attack, and it runs both Scythe Shock and Moonblast and Shadow Ball. So it was going to have, it had some decent coverage to hit a couple of different things, but the end result was that I wanted to keep the Sylveon, and I shouldn't have. I should have gone straight in, I think, on this first turn. I should have gone straight in for damage on that Garg, because a Moonblast from a Sylveon at this fucking, setup and stuff would have done quite a lot. I'm not sure it would have done enough to kill because I don't know your special defensive stats. Because Garg is one of those Pokemon that I don't know a lot about because it's new gen. So I don't know its stats very well. I don't know what it's kind of more focused to. So I was kind of like, well, I'm going to swap to Roaring Moon and see if I can do something with that. Hey, Carmen. But yeah, so that was kind of my thoughts there, was like, well, I want to keep my Sylveon because the Sylveon's got better usage later in terms of its moveset and stuff. So I'm going to go to Roaring Moon and see what Roaring Moon can do. That was obviously a terrible fucking mistake. The fact that you were running Fissure and that you hit Fissure were two massive surprises to me, because I did not expect you at all to be running something with that low of a percent to hit. The fact that the blunder policy thing explains a fucking lot, actually. The fact that you kind of went with that, that's a really good strategy, I will say. That's a really interesting strategy to go for. Because blunder policy is one of those things that's quite hard to activate, because I can't think of an occasion where a move would actually fail. I can't think of how that gets set off in that sense.
Blunder policy, does it work when it's fail, or...
Because I swear it's when it's
Let me
fails.
double check.
Yeah.
No, if the holder misses due to accuracy, its speed is raised by 2 stages.
Interesting. So I wonder
That's
why
when
that
it was running Fissure.
Yeah, I wonder why that didn't proc later then. Because you missed at one point on a swap and it didn't proc.
I don't know. It might have
weird.
not been because of accuracy. It might have just been because you're awesome like that or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have to poke somebody from the Pokemon Society later and see if any of them know. The Pokemon Society has a bonus at my university of being full of fucking VGC players, so there's so many of those fuckers here. But yeah, I was not expecting that. That was a massive surprise, and this turn 1 Fissure hit was fucking incredible for you.
It really was.
Yeah.
I was over here, screaming, just what the fuck?
Yeah, that
Why
was
is
massive.
this going off?
Yeah, that's one of the things that was quite big as well, was if I'd have stayed in with Sylveon there, because I was thinking about it, because I was thinking, go in with Sylveon, I was like, no, because I had 2 options here. My other option, other than swapping for that, was I was going to swap in Roserade and try and hit you with an Energy Ball. And yeah, that would have sucked. Honestly, Roserade didn't do much, but losing Roserade that quickly would have really sucked. So that was
Roserade
really good.
Forced, if I remember right, forced more switches than any of your other Pokemon.
Because that's the interesting thing. Roserade is one of those weird Pokemon that due to its typing is a massive fucking threat. And I'll explain this more later, but I actually crippled my Roserade a little bit during this. My Roserade on this team was crippled. So
I fucked up my Azumarill, so
yeah. Well, I'll explain later why it's crippled, but yeah, put it that way. That turn 1 Fissure into my Roaring Moon was pretty bad, because my Roaring Moon had the ability, if I go back to my team builder real quick, this is AG2. Roaring Moon wasn't very good. It didn't have much utility against this team, but it had dark moves which could have done at least something to your Dragapult, and it had Draco Meteor, which is one of the rare occasions where I have actually put Draco Meteor on something because I didn't want to use Outrage. That was literally the only reason it has Draco Meteor. But it's such a shit fucking move. Like, it really is just god fucking awful. I hate Draco Meteor.
Wait, why do you hate Draco Meteor?
The two-stage special attack drop, which means that if you're running a special set, you have to switch. What I honestly should have done with this team, I'm realizing, like, in the aftermath of this, is I should have ran Mixed Ments with Draco Meteor and not Roaring Moon with Draco Meteor, because I've run Mixed Ments before, so I know how Mixed Ments works. And obviously, if I'd swapped in a Mixed Ment to this Garg, then that Fissure would have immediately failed because I'm a flying type. You would have got the speed boost, but I would have been Mixed Salamence, and I could have dropped something on your head.
No, because that wouldn't be failing due to accuracy. That would have been
it would have been failing due to thing. I'm curious, what is Garg's, like, stats this?
Here.
Yeah, that's chunky. I'm looking at it currently. I've got it open in Showdown. Yeah, that's quite chunky, actually. That does some quite good... That's got more defenses than I thought it did, actually. And it's a big attacker. Huh. That does that's, like, surprisingly good. That's a fucking interesting ability.
After you ended up just, like, hitting my Garg so much that it was just like, okay, it's gonna go out in one more turn. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna set up Stealth Rock and see what we can do.
Yeah, because that was a good fucking play. Right, I'm gonna jump to turn 2.
Okay.
Because, yeah, like, that was shocking. So this was the point where I bought in the Roserade in match to this, because I knew I had a free switch in this moment, so I could bring in that, and I knew I could force a switch, which was one of the things. I wanted to scout out what you were going to bring next, so I knew I could force a switch, but I also knew at the same time that there was a distinct possibility that, because half your team has some kind of, like, grass problem.
Weakness.
Because your Azumarill was, like, that's why I went with the Energy Ball. I didn't expect Azumarill, I will admit. I actually was expecting Clodsire.
No. Clodsire was supposed to be last resort before Houndstone.
Yeah, that's fair. So, because, yeah, what I was expecting was Clodsire, because I was actually expecting Clodsire poison attacks, because that wouldn't have done great, but I was honestly expecting either Clodsire poison or Clodsire, because I want to say Clodsire can run Toxic Spikes, but I can't remember, but I was expecting Clodsire. At least also partly for the resistances that it would have had, because Clodsire has enough of a sort of resistance and stuff that I would have had to switch out Roserade. I'm now going to very quickly explain why the fuck this Roserade is crippled.
Okay.
I decided, in my infinite fucking wisdom, that instead of dealing with the fact that this thing has the speed stat of literally 300, and therefore will outspeed most things in the game anyway, I decided I was going to put it in Choice Scarf.
Why?
Because I was like, okay, I want a lot of speed on this Roserade, because this Roserade's thing was supposed to be going really quick and hitting, and also because I'd been running, the Rodom from Wednesday's session, that runs Specs. That's a Specs Rodom, which is why it was hitting like a fucking truck. I wanted to try and run this Roserade as something that hits very fast, in the hopes that I could deal the damage, because, again, I didn't know what you were bringing, but I was packing on this thing grass coverage, poison coverage, fairy coverage, and ghost coverage. So I was packing quite, like, a lot of different move coverage in that. So I was essentially aiming for something that would basically go as fast as humanly possible on this fucking team. So that's why it's crippled, because it's Choice Scarf. So that's why this turn 3, happened like it did. Because I was basically like, right, fuck it, we're gonna force a switch, and we're gonna move on. And that's obviously the Sylveon. I'm now stuck in fucking Energy Ball, and cannot hit you with my poison move, which means that I would have been able... This is about the point where it was already starting to get fucked, and honestly, this is the reason that I don't run Choice on anything, if I can help it, because Choice is just disgusting. Like, you're locked into a move, if you fuck up slightly, it's so fucking sketchy. So that was why I, obviously, like, next turn I switch out here, and I'll just jump into the next turn. Like, that's obviously why I switched, and this was a horrifying realization to go, I have fuck all against Sylveon that isn't the Roserade, who is fucked. It was like, I was like, shit, I really cocked up with that Roserade, huh? Like, the Roserade was the fucking Alolan Sandslash of this round. Like
Right.
last time with the Sand Slash where I forgot to put a fucking ice move on it. That's what this Roserade was, but it was just I fucked up and crippled it with a stupid move choice or a stupid item choice. Going back,
So
I'd probably either stick an Assault Vest on it to attempt to give it a bit more bulk, or I'd give it the Expert Belt.
that's actually what I put on Dragapult.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Was an
why
assault vest.
That's it. Yeah, I was wondering why you tanked damage quite well from what I'm remembering of the later stuff. I'm gonna change to dark mode. Hold on. I keep forgetting that there is a dark mode on Showdown. But yeah, I was wondering, like, you tanked that real fucking well. So yeah, one thing that's a bit stupid about this team is because we're not running item claws or anything because it's AG. I have Expert Belt on a lot of Pokemon because Expert Belt is just a good fucking item.
Mm-hmm.
I should really mess with that at some point because, like, it's... Oh god, Dark Mode looks fucking ugly. I keep forgetting that. Like, Expert Belt is one of my very much go-to items because extra super effective damage is just fucking peak. We love extra super effective damage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously then, next turn, I came in with Skeledirge because, like I say, I'm looking at this team and going, fuck, I have no good fairy counter other than that Roserade. This is a problem. So I pretty much pulled in Skell because I was like, well, fuck it, I can tank Moonblast. And the thing that was interesting is, I was like, I know you like have heard about my Sylveon set before. I don't know if you're like, if you know it well enough to be trying to run it. So I
was trying to psych you out with the Sylveon.
Yeah. Well, you did it fucking brilliantly because I was petrified that I was about to switch into a Shadow Ball. Like, I was fully expecting that I was about to switch into a Shadow Ball because Shadow Ball is such good neutral damage. Because it's like, you can look at my team, I have nothing that is immune to Shadow Ball because I have no normal types. So I was fully expecting you to whack me in the head with a Shadow Ball and just immediately kill Skell. Because I was like, that's gonna go badly.
Yeah, no, I was like, Pix likes to run Sylveon. I don't remember everything about her Sylveon except for the fact that it's got Pixelate and it's fast. So let me psych her out by giving this Sylveon Pixelate. And then, oh hey, Hydrate from Mega. Thank you, Mega.
Appreciated, Mega.
And Moonblast. And that was it.
Yeah, so, yeah, my Sylveon set is Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Moonblast, and Pixelate Quick Attack. Which, yeah,
right.
that's... Yeah, you did that real fucking well. That's one of the things that's good about, like we had this conversation earlier as well. No, the fact that you know, like, how I play, at least a little bit, and you know bits and bobs about my sets and stuff, means that you can do shit like that, and that was really well done. Congrats on your mind games, I salute you. Yeah, like, I was 100%, like, I'm about to switch into a Shadow Ball and lose my Skell immediately, and, like, it's not gonna be a great loss, but that would have been a nice, like, ghost counter for fucking Houndstone and Dragapult. But I was like, no better option.
So, turn 4, I fucked up.
Ooh.
I thought that Return, was one that let you automatically switch out.
Ah, you thought it was like U-turn?
Yeah, I thought it was like U-turn. I thought it was the friendship-based U-turn.
Yeah, okay, that actually does answer a question I had, which is what the fuck was going on there, because I was confused. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I went for Shadow Ball there again. Oh, go on.
Yeah. No. So that's what I was thinking, and that's why there was just a random return in there.
Yeah.
Is because I was trying to get a free, like, swap.
Yeah, that actually was, like, really interesting, because that was the point where I was like, oh, she's probably not running Shadow Ball then. Because I was like, well, if you didn't use Shadow Ball then, you're not fucking running it. That's what's happening here. That was my decision.
Right.
Like, because so that's actually, I used Shadow Ball because I was expecting two things. I was expecting either to get immediately fucking punched, or I was expecting you to switch again. And I wasn't sure why you would switch, was the thing. Aside from Fire resists Fairy. So I was thinking, well, if she's not running Shadow Ball, she might not have anything good as a counter here. So she might swap to one of the other Ghost types on her team in an attempt to basically get... Because Ghost is obviously super effective on Ghost. So I was thinking you might swap to Dragapult to get the sort of psych of Dragon is resisting Fire and obviously also it's a ghost type, so it's got that threat. So I was half expecting either Dragapult or I was expecting a Shadow Ball to the face. So that's why I went with Shadow Ball, because I was like, well, if you switch, I'm expecting Dragapult, and I would like to get damage on that Dragapult because I'm fucking scared of it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I was not going to switch in a ghost type against a ghost type because my speed is garbage on all of these.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Yeah. Because I suppose that's one other thing as well, is I like to run fast Pokemon a lot of the time, or I like to run Pokemon that have decent, like, speed potential, which is actually why this team was quite interesting. A lot of these Pokemon are quite slow. Like,
yeah.
The only reason I run Sylveon as often as I do is because I tend to put max speed on it. But, like, Iron Hands and Skell are very slow compared to the sort of things that I will often run. They were also my two riskiest Pokemon, because between those two and Roaring Moon, those three are the ones that I have very little experience playing with, so I was very much messing with them based on what I've heard other people use with them, which is why they were all so fucking god-awful. Like, I don't know how to run these fucking Pokemon, my dude. I've never done this before in my life. I would have been way better off bringing Megazard, Mixed Vents, and I don't know what I'd...
Oh god, please don't bring Megazard.
I don't know what
you want to win, but dear Christ.
Yeah, it's like
I'm so scared.
I would have been way better off bringing one of the two versions of Megazard, mixed Ments with Moxie, and I don't know what I would have replaced Iron Hands with, but something else would have gone there instead of Iron Hands. I will actually bring up a fun thing later with that fucking Alakazam, speaking of all of that sort of shit. But yeah, the return actually does answer, like I said, that does answer a question for me, because I was really confused why you'd be running return on a Sylveon, because the thing is Sylveon is a special attacker. My Sylveon only runs quick attack for snipe killing. It runs quick attack because that Sylveon, I think you remember what that Sylveon set story is, but it was a cleanup Pokemon from Megaments. Not Megaments, Megazard. Yeah. So it's like it ran Pixelate quick attack in order to get very quick snipes if something didn't die to the Suicide Flare Blitz, or if whatever came in after the Suicide Flare Blitz was low health. The Pixelate quick attack was there to get a quick kill. If I didn't think I was going to outspeed. So I was like, because it's not a very, if I go back to the team builder real quick and I pull up Sylveon, like, it's not a terrible attack stat. Like, it's actually about equal as Skelly, which is something this is one of the things, my Skelly is also scuffed because it's mixed Skelly. It's got two physical moves, because I didn't realize that it didn't have very good physical attack until, like, I was obviously looking at the set, but, like, I didn't realize how bad the physical attack was until, I was actually doing it later, because that's when the Seed Bomb later on, like, really was like, wow, fuck, you have really bad physical attack, don't you? But yeah, like, that was the thing, like, I was very confused why you would run Return. And it was actually funny, because I had a moment where you used Return, and it did damage, and I was very confused for a split second before I went, oh, she's running Pixelate, okay. And that was the point where I was like, okay, she's running Pixelate, she probably doesn't have Shadow Ball, and she's probably not got Quick Attack either, if she's not, like... If she's running Return, she's probably not got something like Quick Attack to do priority. I am very, very, very curious to know what the rest of your set was on that Sylveon, actually, because that sounds like it's an odd set.
It was pixelated everything. It was Body Slam, Return, Hyper Voice, and Moon Blast.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. That does explain a lot, and that also explains why my Roserade was such a big threat to that thing, because an all-fairy set is...
yeah.
That's gonna have bad time.
I made mistakes. Mistakes were made with the Sylveon.
you made the mistake of, I want some stab damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, jumping into
I did give it a Quick Claw, too. So.
Yeah, that was actually interesting. Okay, jumping into the next turn. So the next turn here is, I make quite the obvious play, I think, in that I was setting up Torch Song, because like I was saying last turn with the Shadow Ball, that Shadow Ball was entirely because I was half expecting fucking Dragapult to come in and attempt to threaten me. What I definitely should have done that last turn was Torch Song automatically, because that gives me a special attack boost.
Yes.
And that probably would have done more damage as well than Shadow Ball did, just based on its stats and stuff. So I would have been in a much better position using Torch Song turn 4. Turn 5, obviously, I went for Torch Song because I wasn't sure what your Sylveon was planning. But like I say, I was assured that it didn't have Shadow Ball, so I was half expecting a switch, but I wasn't sure what you were switching to, which was a big problem because your team is also very fire resistant. As in everything but Houndstone. So
yeah,
I sort of just went for it in the hopes that I could get a little bit of damage and some kind of stat buff, in the hopes that maybe then I could either threaten whatever was brought in enough to force another switch, or deal a decent amount of damage before Skell eventually died, because Skell was fucking dead.
Right. So this is... Yeah, Seed Bomb, that was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so this was where I started realizing that I'd fucked up with my skill set a bit, which is because I set this up specifically because I wanted a emergency backup water counter if Roserade went down and if Iron Hand wasn't doing well. So because those were my two main water counters, but I wanted an emergency backup. And it doesn't get that many good special moves that are grass type, from what I'm remembering of when I was building this. So I went with Seed Bomb. Mistakes. Put it that way. Big mistake. Should have gone with literally anything fucking else. Seed Bomb is not a good move on this Pokemon.
So this was my second attempt at getting off a Fissure.
Yeah. Oh, I avoided it rather than a miss. So there's something there based on calculation, but essentially avoided is using my stats, miss is using yours, or something like that. I don't remember how it works exactly, but it's some kind of different calculation, I think. Or it's the same calculation, but it's a different kind of lose condition. I can't remember how it works. If somebody fucking remembers and puts the information somewhere, then congratulations, I guess, because I don't fucking remember. But yeah, like, it was actually kind of interesting. Seed Bomb did more damage than I thought it was going to, but the thing that was also funny here is I didn't remember that Seed Bomb was physical. Until after I used it, went, wow, that did less than I expected, and then looked at it and went, wait, that's a physical move.
Oops.
So that was another one of the big problems here, is that I sort of looked at that and went, oh, oops, that's not the move you're supposed to be using. Because yeah, if I go to, like, type grass on this thing, it gets Seed Bomb and it gets Solar Beam. So I either had to go with a physical move, or I'd go with what is declared as a usually useless move on Showdown, because its entire like problem would be that I'd need 2 turns to set that up. Like, it would not, like, that would not be particularly fun in any way. But yeah, I didn't realize, like, it's not a very physical Pokemon, so that did not fucking help my situation at all. So yeah, you were doing, like, fucking ridiculously well by this point, and I was honestly scared. Like, the fact that you'd already gotten a kill and I hadn't managed to get anything back. I'd done some damage, but I hadn't managed to swap anything back, and I only really done damage to 2 Pokemon. Like, I was sitting here honestly, like, quaking. Like, I was not having a good time. I was like, ooh, this is a spicy situation, isn't it?
I was honestly stunned. I was sitting there like, wait, what?
Yeah, you've built this team real fucking well. Like, you built this way fucking better than I built mine. Like I say, a lot of... Go on.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah. So I suppose that helps in some ways, because I'm trying to fucking think, and you aren't, in some ways. But, yeah, I suppose, like I say, one of my big problems here is that I wanted to use new-gen Pokemon a bit more, because I need to get used to them anyway, so I was like, fuck it, I'll do it here. But, like I said, it ended up with the end result being I was bringing Pokemon that I wasn't familiar enough with to run. Like I say, Megazard, Mixments, something else instead of Iron Hands especially. Like, Iron Hands was not my
Iron Hands, I was honestly afraid of Iron Hands.
Yeah, so Iron Hands has an interesting thing in that in the meta, it's one of the most horrifying Pokemon you can deal with, because what it does is it Swords Dances, it has Drain Punch for recovery, and it just punches things. Like, it gets a boost to punching moves if you give it the right item, things like that, and it just punches things. That's what it does. It does a +2, and then it punches. But it was like, because I was actually running that set. I was running the punch set, but I'd swapped off Swords Dance for something else. Because I honestly didn't expect to be given the time to set up a Swords Dance. Like, it just... It's kind of interesting. It's interesting as a threat, but it's not actually a very... Like, I didn't like how it almost felt, and I didn't even use it that much, but I didn't quite like how it felt. Yeah, moving into turn 7. Like, turn 7, I'm terrified. I'm expecting to die. Like, I don't know what else your guy has. I just know it has Fissure. And I've gotten lucky once, but I've also gotten unlucky once. So I'm expecting that either something else is going to walk out and kill me at this point. Or, again, I'm expecting... The other thing I was expecting at that point was the possibility of an Azumarill switch in, but I wasn't, like... I was not sold on the possibility of Azumarill. Because when it came down to it, I was like, well, your guard probably has something else it could do to kill me, so I'm going to expect to die.
Yeah. I forgot to put any water moves on my Azumarill.
You did the sand slash.
Yes.
Rip. Yeah, that's fair, honestly. That's the sort of shit that sometimes just happens when you're building teams quickly. Yeah. But yeah, I just went with Shadow Ball because I was like, fuck yeah, I've got a +1 already. Shadow Ball is my only other fucking special move on this stupid fucking Pokemon that isn't, because Torch Song isn't going to do damage. Shadow Ball is the only other special move that I've got. So, fuck it, I guess. We're using that. Because I already have evidence that I'm only going to do, like, a little bit with Torch Song anyway. And, like, sure, another boost would be nice, but honestly, I'm probably going to fucking die, so I might as well do as much damage to the Garg as possible.
Right.
And then, yeah, that Stealth Rock, terrified. Genuinely afraid of my life. Just one fear. That thing came up and I was like, fuck, I didn't bring Spin specifically because I wasn't expecting to need it. Again. And guess what, bitches? I should have remembered. Callie likes traps. Callie is a trap
does
setter.
like traps.
Yeah. It's funny too, because I used to be a massive trap setter for competitive. Oh, fuck me. Thanks, Posse. I was just getting comfortable. Posture check it is. Oh, and a stretch.
Posture check. Heck yeah.
Yay.
Thank you, Posse.
Yes, thank you, Posse. So yeah, like, I used to, when we did, because we've done fun doubles a time or two back in ye olden days, I say, sounding like a fucking grandma. And yeah, one of my things in doubles especially was trap sets, because I would run Stealth Rock on one thing and Spikes on a different thing, or I'd run two Pokemon, and they would both have, like, a Stealth Rock Spikes setup combo, or one of them would have Stealth Rocks and Spikes, and the other would have, like, Spikes and Toxic Spikes. And so what they would do is, like, they could, like, trade off which one was setting up what sort of trap per turn, or both could set up a trap. So I'd spend, like, turn one I'd already have a layer of Spikes plus Stealth Rock, and then the next turn I'd have a second layer of Spikes, also Poison Spikes, and it was like, welcome to hell, bitch, I hope you bought Rapid Spin. People did not bring Rapid Spin. But yeah, those rocks came up, and immediately, like, genuine fear, because there is no underestimating the amount of pressure the traps put up. Like, people fucking, like, some people sleep on these fucking moves. Idiots. These things are horrifying, because the problem is that you're going to be now dealing consistent damage every switch in, which means that I need to calculate my switching. I cannot switch randomly to get an advantage anymore. If my Pokemon's at too low health, I'm losing that Pokemon to that switch. If my Pokemon is a certain, like, amount of health, I am going to switch in and then probably die to an attack. Like, traps, terrifying. Awful fucking thing. Hey, Soren. But yeah, so, like, those things are fucking horrific, and the fact is that, like, I was honestly really miserable when I saw that. I was like, fuck, I should have bought Rapid Spin. Because it was funny, because at lunch today I was sitting there like, can I change anything to put Rapid Spin on this team? No, it's fine, I probably won't need it. Wrong answer, bitch. Incorrect. So yeah, moving to turn 8, because, goddamn. So yeah, turn 8 was actually interesting. I was kind of expecting, I wasn't sure if you were going to sack the Garg or not, so I once again just kind of went with Shadow Ball, because I was like, fuck it, sort of scenario. Like, I wasn't sure if you were going to sack it or not, and I wasn't sure what you were going to do if you did sack it. So I was just like, I'm just going to see if I can get some damage down. Sod it. Moving on. So, yeah. I gather you sacked it because you just expected, like, it's not going to do anything else after the Stealth Rocks. I'm curious what your other moves
it's not
are.
Gonna...
in that sense. I'm curious what your other moves are then, if you thought you couldn't do anything.
For the Garg?
Yeah, if you thought you couldn't do anything.
It was Stealth Rock, Fissure, Earthquake, and Heavy Slam.
Heavy Slam wouldn't be too bad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the other ones were good, but the problem is the speed is the lowest stat for this thing, and the blunder policy was not going off.
Ah, yeah, I see where your problem was there then. Yeah, if that policy wasn't going off, you were definitely a bit fucked with that stat.
Yeah, so it was just like, you know what, fuck it, Stealth Rock, let's go.
At some point, I'm going to teach you how to build Trick Room teams, and we're going to put a Garg on it. That's going to be fun. I'll show you how Trick Room works so we can put Garg on it. That'll be fun. I'll hate it. I hate Trick Room. It pisses me off because I run fast Pokemon. So Trick Room is just like the exact fucking opposite of a good time. So yeah, this next turn was possibly the worst fucking turn. And like, just you can kind of gather why immediately, but like turn 9 was just god awful. So I'm gonna tell you what's fun about that Alakazam. You know how you said please don't bring Megazard?
Yeah.
So part of the reason I wasn't bringing Megazard is because I was running Megazam.
Oh, nice.
That Alakazam had Mega Revolution.
And it just went face first straight into an earthquake.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Here's the funny thing is I use Clodsire, so I know what it can do. But my problem is I mostly am currently using Clodsire when dealing with raid Pokemon. Which means that their stats are off the fucking chart, and they're also high level as shit. So the end result is I sort of forgot that thing actually does damage when it's not dealing with fucking bullshit like the raids are in Scarlet Violet. So I literally was like, right, fuck it, I want to keep Skell for later. And that was honestly a massive misplay. Did not need to keep fucking Skell. Skell was the weak link of this team. Its only real good was it could potentially Shadow Ball your 2 ghost types, and I have Shadow Ball on so many other fucking Pokemon. So it's like, that was not a good play at all. Like, I should have kept Skell in, I should have seen what the Clodsire did and baited it. Because the thing is Clodsire is fucking slow, is the thing. Like, it's pretty fucking slow. So, if I'd just been not stupid, I would have sacked Skell, swapped to Alakazam on the free turn, Mega'd, Psychicked, dead, and I've now got a Mega on the field that is doing some good fucking damage. Like, that would have been the idea.
But you are completely thingamabob.
Confident? Overconfident, probably?
No.
Yeah.
No. So, the one thing I gave Clodsire was if you brought in a heavy hitter and I managed to live, I have counter on it.
Okay. That would have been really nice if I was using a physical attack. Counter doesn't work on special moves, so...
Wait, does it not?
No.
Fuck!
Counter is physical, Miracle is special. Miracle? Miracle is special, and then Magic Coat reverses status effects. But yeah, so that wouldn't have mattered, actually, because Counter... The thing is, as well, is Counter also has to... You have to take the damage after the counter is set up. And I don't remember if Counter has priority, so you would have had to use Counter, take the damage, live, and kill me. But Counter would have failed.
Does Counter have priority?
I don't know if Counter's priority. It should say in its team building thing, actually.
It does not say that it has got priority.
Yeah, so it might not have priority, or it might be
I'm slow as shit. That was just a wasted move, honestly.
Yeah, that was not a great move. Counter has priority as far as you know. Okay, cool. Yeah, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Clodsire would not have... Like I say, that was the biggest fucking misplay I have done this entire thing. But yeah, it says in the description, if hit by a physical attack, returns double damage. So,
okay, I misread or misunderstood what it meant then.
Yeah, that's fair, that happens. So yeah, that turn was the most devastating fucking turn for me. I should have sacked Skell, bought in Alakazam on the sacrifice, Mega Evolve, I have Psychic at that point. I have a Megazam, which Mega Alakazam has stacked fucking special attack. Like, it has stacked special already, but it has stacked special. It's obviously, currently Mega Evolved, so it's even more powerful. It's Psychic that is stab, that is super effective. Like, I would have fucking insta-killed. That Clodsire was dead. Like, that Clodsire, I don't remember if Clodsire has good special. It has decent special. It has better special than physical, but that Clodsire was still fucking dead. Like, that thing wasn't living an attack from an Alakazam. There's calculators and stuff to do actual damage calcs depending on what your stats are, but I don't think that thing was living. And even if it did,
well,
because that's the thing as well.
The second you brought out the Alakazam, I would have swapped to Dragapult.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. You're still tanking a fucking Megazam Psychic, though, so that would have done good damage to the Dragapult as well.
It would have done, hella damage.
In the end, I had fucking everything to lose with that switch. I fucked up really bad with that switch. That was a terrible life decision. Because at that point, I now have no good poison counter. I've actually lost one of my ghost counters, because Alakazam was an active ghost counter, despite being weak to ghost. Because the idea was if I got Megazam up, Megazam is quite fast. You can actually put specifically the Megas as Pokemon. Well, you can if you have it set to fucking anything goes. But, yeah, Megazam has deadly fucking good special attack. It's got pretty damn good speed. This thing was going to do damage if I got it out. So the fact that I fucked up there and decided I want to keep a useless Pokemon and went for the Zam instead was such a big mistake that I was just like, well, I think this is the fucking match. Like, I looked at my team, I looked at your team, I went, I think I'm fucking losing. Like, that was the sort of, like, moment where I was like, I'm fucked, never mind.
The entire time, I lived in fear of your Iron Hands.
Yeah, and it was funny, too, because Iron Hands did not do much.
Yeah, no.
Like, that thing,
it did not.
It looked scary, but surprisingly, that wasn't a particularly valuable member of this team. But yeah, I saw that Alakazam go immediately. No, it's fighting electric, despite looking like... I thought it was a steel type as well the first time I saw it, but no, it's fighting electric, which is really weird. But yeah, the second I saw that 100% health loss from that Earthquake, I was like, well, that's a problem. Just like, yeah, I think there goes that match, doesn't it? Right, turn 10. What happened on turn 10? Oh yeah, that was weird. Yeah, so turn 10 was actually one of those moments where I was again staring at my fucking screen like, this is gonna be spicy. Because here's the thing, like, you look at Sylveon's special when you can, like, look at that to Alakazam, and they've got quite a similar special. Like, Alakazam's base is 135, and Sylveon is 110. So, the fact that Sylveon actually only did 61 was actually the moment where I was slightly afraid that even if Alakazam had been alive, I wouldn't have been able to kill you immediately. I had some faith, because obviously Mega Evolution boost, but I was, like, looking at that 61%, I was like, okay. That's worrying.
What did I have on Clodsire? Oh, that's right. That was basically useless.
That was basically useless, we say, as Clodsire killed one of my Pokemon and tanked my Sylveon.
Well, no, it was a covert cloak.
Covert cloak? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it, not affected by the secondary effect of another Pokemon's attack.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty... That's basically, like... good for, like, status moves, I guess? Or, moves that have status, rather. But yeah, there's not a lot.
And stuff that adjusts your stats.
Yeah, that too. I think that actually might have come into a play later, because I think I thought about... I was trying to calculate a move at one point, and I was like, right, do I want to go for, like, this sort of, like, potential poison, or do I want to go for potential stat drops at one point? So, I can't remember if Clodsire was out at that point, but that would have been a fucking funny thing to have happened to me. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go for stat drops, I say, while losing. But yeah, like, that the turn 10, like, Psyshock tank that you did was quite worrying, but it was actually funny because that was the moment where I was like, does this thing have better physical defense than special? I was like, does it? I don't think it does. I swear that thing's a special defensive Pokemon, which is why, like, Alakazam was a bit wobbly with this Pokemon. Like, I was a bit worried and I wanted more you go for Sylveon. But I was looking at this like, huh. And then I come in as well and I'm sitting here like, I'm sitting here with a fucking fairy type against a poison type because I have no other options to deal with this thing. So I have to go for my Sylveon and have to have Psyshock do something. And it was actually really funny because I was looking at that and I was like, oh, this is gonna go so fucking wrong. The fact that you got the poison on my Sylveon as well was just,
really lucky.
Yeah, like, really lucky and really bad for me because that's more pressure on my switches. Because I now can't keep Sylveon in too long. If I keep Sylveon in too long, I lose it to Stealth Rock on switching next time, and it's like, it was just all I was not fucking happy with myself for that. I was not proud of how I've played this one because this team was so fucking poorly thought out, and I did not fucking think during this match. That fucking turn 1 Fisher is still making me fucking wheeze, I'm not gonna lie, like... That would have been fucking hilarious. Like, losing my Sylveon that early on wouldn't have been deadly, but it would have sucked. And it was like, okay. I guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
What was turn 11? Oh yeah, turn 11 was your swap to the Azumarill. So that was actually really interesting to me. I was quite confused why you'd swap to Azumarill. Because as far as I was thinking, like, that thing isn't going to have a lot that it can do to a Sylveon. It's bulky, and, like, if you're running huge power, which anybody saying uses huge power, that's just what the fucking Azumarill runs. It runs huge power.
Actually, I had it running Sap Sipper.
Huh. That explains a lot. I think there was a point at some point where I took damage from you, and I was like, that did not do anywhere near as much as I was thinking. What the fuck is this? Yeah, if you're not running huge power, then that explains a fucking lot. Because huge power is literally just double your attack stat. As in your base attack.
Yeah.
So you're essentially treated as having, like, I don't remember what your fucking base attack is, but, like, you're treated as having double that. Like, there is no reason not to run huge power. Like, it's so fucking good.
I thought you were going to be bringing a grass type, and I wanted the grass immunity.
I mean, fair.
I then promptly forgot that I had Sap Sipper.
Yeah. I think...
And didn't use it against your Roserade at all.
Yeah. I think the thing as well is, like... Because what is your attack? Yeah, your attack is 50, so you're running base 100 when you've got that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Sap Sipper... Because the thing as well is, especially nowadays, because it's fairy, and also, like, it's still being water, like, it's still weak to electric. It's now weak to steel, it's now weak to poison, so Sap Sipper has a lot less utility because it's got a lot more weaknesses nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of options instead of grass moves. But yeah, like, on turn 11, like, you bringing that in against my Sylveon, I was really confused, because I'm like, what is that going to do to my Sylveon?
It had Iron Tail.
Yeah, that was the thing I didn't realize until next turn, when you used the Iron Tail, and that was, I think you missed anyway.
I missed anyway.
Fast forward 12. Yeah, like, it missed anyway, but, like, yeah, that was, like, a big oh moment for me. I was like, oh, that explains it. Iron Tail isn't something I see on Zoomeril very much. Which is interesting, because you'd think you'd use it, because it is actually a half-decent fairy counter, just by nature of being fairy, and therefore resisting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, that came in against my Sylveon, I was dead confused. I wasn't gonna fucking risk it, was the thing. I was looking at that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna risk whatever it's about to do, because I'm expecting huge power, and I'm gonna just bring in the Roserade, and I'm gonna threaten the shit out of it. That was basically my idea here. And once again, the fact that my Roserade is crippled comes into play on this turn, because, like, oh, this fucking Dragapult, Sludge Bomb resisted. I was like, well, maybe it'll get poisoned. Like, the second that Dragapult came in on turn 13, I was sobbing. I was like, why the fuck did I scarf this fucking Roserade? Like, it was so stupid to scarf this thing. Because, guess what? I have Shadow Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I wasn't scarfed, that fucking thing is super dead, and then I also had Dazzling Gleam, because I don't think you can get Moonblast on Roserade. So, like, I had two moves that would have done real fucking good damage against this Dragapult, but my idiot ass decided to play with Scarf, because, hey, Choice Specs went well last time, and going fast is really useful against some of these Pokemon, because, like, Roserade is going to need to hit things. And Roserade is, like, it's not frail. It's not, like, super bulky. It's not really frail, but I'd prefer if it, like, didn't fucking die immediately. So I was sort of like, honest to God, I crippled that Roserade so fucking hard. If I mess with the set later, that thing's getting an Expert Belt. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have, like, 2 Expert Belts already, and it's mostly just due to the fact that I didn't know what to put on a fucking Roaring Moon, because I don't use Roaring Moon. And I didn't know what to put on the Skell, because I don't use Skell. It's like all of the Pokemon that I wasn't sure what I was doing with it was just like, I just have more super effective damage, I guess.
Right.
Because it's like, I'm going for so much coverage that I might as well just stick more super effective damage on things. Right, turn 14, I'm back into Sylveon, and, like, this was the point where, like, as much as I said earlier that, like, that moment that I saw Alakazam die was, like, the moment where I knew I was fucked, like, this moment with the Sylveon was the big, like, yeah, I'm totally fucked moment, because it's like, I had no choice but to switch into Sylveon. Because my other option...
I wasn't expecting you to do that, honestly. I honestly thought you were going to keep Sylveon out and that you had a fairy move on your Roserade that you were going to try to hit me with, which is why I went with Psychic Fang straight away.
And that's the thing, is if I hadn't had Choice Scarf, that probably would have been my play, is I would have gone for Dazzling Gleam instead. Or Shadow Ball, because I think Shadow Ball is more powerful than Dazzling Gleam. Let me double check move powers. Yeah, no, they're both the same, base 80, so it would have literally just been, do I want to attempt to also lower your special defense? Would have been my only fucking decision to make there. But yeah, if I hadn't been choiced, I absolutely would have done, but because I was choiced, I had 2 options, which was Iron Hands Ice Punch, or switch to Sylveon Prey. And I ended up going for switch to Sylveon Prey, because I was hoping that you, what was I thinking there? I can't actually even remember what I was thinking at this point. I think at this point, I was very much in the sort of state of just, I'm fucking dead no matter what happens. I'm going to see what I can do. So I think I just kind of went with it. and that's why Sylveon ended up coming out, because I was like, well, Sylveon's halfway to dead anyway, so it's like, at this point, what the fuck do I have left to lose? I might as well just start trying to get kills, and it just wasn't gonna work. Like, it was just really bad. If I'd been thinking straight, this really would have been a swap to Skell, sack Skell, bring fucking Sylveon in on the Switch, and then Shadow Ball, probably. Not Moonblast, because you have enough things on that team to counter Moonblast, or resist being Moonblast, rather. But Shadow Ball would have done decent damage to Hound if it came in. It would have done okay damage and probably killed that Clodsire. And it would have done enough to the Azumarill that I wasn't terrified. But again, like, for some reason, I kept keeping... Hey, Kara. For some reason in this match, I kept keeping the Skeledirge, and I don't know why. Like, there was 2 fucking opportunities where I should have sacrificed the Skeledirge, and neither time did I fucking think to do it. Oh, good, we're standing up again.
Oh, standing up again.
Okay. On the plus side, at least it's not during the match this time. That made that match really awkward to try and play as well, because I'm bending over the computer screen.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, like, legitimately, no. So many stupid misplays, but if I have to label, like, a couple, it's not killing that fucking Skeledirge earlier and using it for safe switches. Because that's 2 Pokemon, essentially, that I killed because I didn't want to lose the Skeledirge, even though there was no reason to keep it with this team that I was facing. Like, it had 0 fucking utility when I've got there's a ground type over there, there's a water type over there, there's ghost types over there. Everything on that team was a problem for this thing. I should have killed it. And I just didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it was so stupid. Yeah, that was just dumb. Now, turn 15. Turn 15 was one of those moments where I had another moment of, oh yeah, that's a move, despite the fact that my fucking Roaring Moon was running it. Oops, I accidentally just hit it to restart. Like, despite the fact that my fucking Roaring Moon was running it, I still didn't think, oh yeah, Draco Meteor. Because Draco Meteor is not a move that I use. Like, I don't like Draco Meteor because of the stat drop. It's the same reason I don't run things like Leaf Storm, despite the fact that my Roserade could have run Leaf Storm. I wasn't running that, because it's like, I just don't like the stat drops, because when it comes down to it, I don't want to drop my stats and then possibly have to switch immediately. I want to try, like, if I've killed something, I want to try and keep the pressure and not want to switch. So the end result is just that I don't use it very much, and the only reason I had it on the Roaring Moon is because I didn't really know what goes on a Roaring Moon. But yeah, so, like, it was just dumb. That was dumb, honestly. A lot of things that I did in this match can be described as that was dumb, but that was dumb. I guess the only bonus here is that, hey, at least I got Iron Hands out on a free switch and you got your special attack dropped, but no. Everything about this match was going horribly wrong by this point.
Yeah. And then I did something really stupid and pulled the Dragapult back out when I knew for a fact you had Ice Punch.
Yeah, that was actually,
really
like,
dumb.
really, yeah, turn 16 was one of those moments where I was, like, turn 16 to turn 17, especially, was weird, but, like, yeah, turn 16, I was dead confused. Like, I understand pulling Dragapult. You don't know what Hands has. I understood pulling in Clodsire, actually. I didn't know exactly why, but Clodsire was still a good counter choice because I am an electric type.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you knew it was electric. That's the thing, is, like, I had no idea.
No,
but...
I was hovering over it and I saw that it was electric, yeah.
Yeah, but I also knew as well that you, like, the fact that you thought it was steel makes that point a lot more sense as well, because obviously ground is good on steel as well. So you could have been switching in the Clodsire for the ground to steel sort of thing, I was thinking as well. Like, that's quite useful. But yeah, like, you brought it in, I punched it and killed it, and then you brought Dragapult back. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, which
I know
I had a total brain fart.
It's like, I know Dragapult has Psychic Fangs, and honestly, what I was kind of thinking was like, I was like, is Psychic Fangs physical or special? Like, which is that? Because if it's special, then I understand what you did. If it's physical, I'm confused.
I think it's special. Give me a second.
Yeah. No, it's physical, so I'm confused.
It's physical, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, that was literally the moment there. I was like, well, if it's special, that makes sense. You wanted to get rid of the stat drop before bringing it in to try and kill my Hands. If it's physical, I don't know why you did that. I was like, what the fuck was that? I was just confused.
Because it's a psychic move against a fighting type.
Yeah. No, not the switch out, or not the switch out thing. That was the thing, like...
No, that was why I used Psychic Fangs.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about turn 16 still, sorry. Here's the thing, like, on turn 16, the thought process was, okay, we're switching the Dragapult out because you're worried. That's fine. Clodsire takes an Ice Punch, dies. Okay. Clodsire obviously came in for an attempted ground thing, wasn't expecting the Ice Punch, very confused. Like,
Yeah, my brain just shut off.
and then it was like you brought Dragapult in, and I was just like, okay. So what I assumed you did was that you'd switched out Dragapult because I knew you had Psychic Fangs already from the earlier kill. So what I assumed happened was I was like, okay, is Psychic Fangs special? Because if it's special, you then switched it out in order to get rid of the special drop from Draco Media to make sure that you would do enough damage. Okay, that sort of logic makes sense. That explains why you switched it out into Clodsire. And then obviously why you brought it back in here. But like...
Nope, my brain just shut off.
Yeah. The fact that you got
This was a moment of pure stupidity.
Yeah, fair enough. The fact that you then, like, going on to turn 17 here, the fact that you got a crit was good. And honestly, I was not expecting that much damage from that Ice Punch. Like, I knew hands did a lot of damage, but 81% was a lot more than I was actually expecting. And the fact that you had Cursed Body was one of those sort of moments where I was like, well, I'm not sure if I'm glad that I didn't kill you with something else or, like, don't care. Because, like, Ice Punch now was a useless move anyway, so who cares? But at the same time, it was just sort of like one of those moments of just like, well, that was a series of events, wasn't it? At least I got a kill today sort of scenario. Okay, we can sit down again, by the way.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, like, I was dead confused what the hell was going on those 2 turns. Like, I was just like, okay, decisions are being made here. It's like, decisions are being made here, but considering some of the stupid I have pulled earlier, like, I don't even think I can complain at this point. Like, I have done some stupidity this fucking match. So, it's like...
Yeah.
I can't even, like, really laugh at the stupid because I have been dumb as fuck. It's like, I can't laugh. I've also been a moron repeatedly. Like, there were 2 fucking occasions I could have killed Skell and I should have. But yeah, like, I was very much at the point now where I'm like, I'm fucked. It's the next couple turns especially where I was like, yeah, no, I'm dead. Because as we move into the next segments, like, Sylveon, Quick Claw, yeah, okay. Honestly, that switch was probably stupid. Like, I should have just killed... Like, because here's the thing. No matter what happens here, I'm fucked. And it is entirely because of, again, Choice Scarf. Because...
Right.
I let you kill hands. Roserade comes in. I hit you with a poison move. I'm now locked into poison. You're not going to bring in a Azumarill on this fucking Roserade because you're going to be expecting either poison or grass. So you're going to bring in Houndstone. I can't Shadow Ball because of the fucking Choice Scarf, which means I'm stuck hitting you with Sludge Bomb, which isn't going to do enough damage, and I'm dead. Like, no matter what happens, I'm fucked here. So the entire thing was I was just like, fuck it, I guess. Roserade it is, and I'm going to hope to God that, like, Roserade can do a bit of damage and then hopefully just kill hands. Yes,
right.
Kara?
What's up, Kara?
I don't have Tabletop Sim, otherwise I might. But also, I think that would probably end up being a very long fucking stream. To be fair, we have been doing this for literally nearly 2.5 hours, like 1.5 hours already.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? How have we done that?
But this is fun, so...
Yeah, this has been fun. Talking this through is always fun. Especially when I get to just sit here and look at how dumb I was in some of these areas. Yeah, maybe we'll try it sometime when I'm all done with all of my fucking course stuff. But yeah, like, we can basically, like, skim a lot of the rest of this, because at this point, like, you can kind of...
It's kind of self-evident.
Like, it was really obvious that I was just really fucked here, because it's like, you withdrew the Sylveon, I brought in Roserade, took the Moonblast, yeah, whatever. You brought in Houndstone, and at this point, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm fucked, because I hit it with a Sludge Bomb, that's not doing enough damage. I switched to Hands, you kill me. I switched to Roserade, and this was the point where I was like, well, I'm fucked, because I hit it with Shadow Ball to try and kill it. If it kills it, I'm now dealing with 2 fairy types that I can't hit with poison moves. So then you lived anyway. So it was like, fuck it. Yeah, I'm dead. Like, there was no winning there.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I say, the biggest
I
holes...
was really surprised to live through that Shadow Ball.
Yeah, honestly, like, I was surprised as well. What the fuck is Houndstone's, like, stats? Like, because this is one of the things, like, because it's a lot of Gen 9 like, wow, you don't have that good of stats at all, really. Like,
yeah,
that was really interesting, but, like... Oh! That's a terrifying move in competitive. I now understand why Last Respects does so much fucking damage. That's terrifying.
Well, that's why Houndstone is banned.
Yeah, his backline and
outside
banned.
of Anything Goes.
Yeah, that explains a lot. That's a scary move. Don't like that thing. But yeah, like that.
It's great.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, 68 speed. Yeah, like in the end, like this just wasn't. That wasn't gonna work out. But yeah, like the fact that you lived that was quite impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the fact that you lived, that was very impressive, but either way, like, live or die, I was fucked at that point, and it was just a case of, am I gonna get to kill the Houndstone or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so Last Respects is a move that does plus 50% damage for every party member fainted. So you
Which
bring
is
it out
why
at the end of the
typically
thing, and it's doing
comes
250% extra.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's very good. I love it.
Yeah. So, obviously, I think at that point, like, that last segment literally just became you hit Last Respects repeatedly. And it was like, that's it. That's just what the fucking match was, because that was just what it was going to be. So, yeah. At least, like, on my end, the biggest mistakes that I made in that match were the early death of my Alakazam and not sacrificing my fucking Skeledirge earlier.
Yeah.
Like I say, like, that Skeledirge incident where I bought Skeledirge back against your Clodsire, bought in Alakazam, and it died immediately. That was probably the biggest mistake of the match, because, like I say, sacrifice the Skeledirge, I then bring in Alakazam, I Mega, I'm faster than you, I'm probably killing you with a Psychic. Like, by that point, like, the amount of stuff... I'm actually curious, can we do a science?
Yeah.
Can I have a match against you where I can Mega Evolve my Zam just so I can do damage calculations without having to pull up the fucking math?
Sure, you want me to just send out the Clodsire first?
Yeah, send out the Clodsire first, and I just send in the Alakazam straight away, just because I don't want to have to find my fucking calculator for this, so it'd be easier to just allow me to punch it. It's like,
sure.
if I can just punch it. Yeah, it's a finale move, and it's terrifying. Right, yeah. Hi, Zam. Welcome. I need to turn my fucking music volume back down. Yeah, I literally just want to punch it instead of having to do math, because... fuck doing math, but yeah, just counter or something, because that won't do anything. If I can guesstimate. Ooh, you had unaware. Nice. Oh! Okay, so you would have lived, I guess.
I had Mega Horn, which is what or Sludge Bomb, which is what I would have used probably Mega Horn against you.
Yeah. Which... yeah, so... that would have... okay, actually, because here's the thing. What I'm thinking here is, because you said that you ran counter specifically because you thought, like, live or die thing. So if you had been faced with my Alakazam going, like, to go Mega, would you have countered, or would you have gone Mega Horn straight away? That's the thing, like...
Mega Horn straight away.
Okay, yeah, if you didn't know the Mega... okay, can you... right, counter again so I can switch into Alakazam again, and then hit me with a Mega Horn on next turn. So counter again while I just swap the hands, and then I'm gonna switch to Zam again, Mega Horn, because I want to see if that would have killed.
Okay, so do Mega Horn this turn?
Now, yeah. I want to see what that would have did. Yeah, oh! So yeah, actually, in that case, yeah, 4-foot player. So yeah, in that case then, yeah, no, the fact that Alakazam died to the Clodsire actually almost doesn't matter. Huh.
That's interesting.
The thing is I think it would have mattered in the sense that what would have happened is I would have at the very least have done more damage to the Clodsire straight away. I would have still immediately lost Alakazam, but the Clodsire would have been nearly dead. I could have then probably revenge killed with Sylveon. And that would have at least taken out another, like, a Pokemon for you.
Right.
What would have come in after Clodsire?
After Clodsire, it depends on what you would have brought out. If it had stayed with the Sylveon...
yeah, I'd have pulled Sylveon in, killed the Clodsire, and Sylveon would have stayed that turn.
Then it would have been the Azumarill.
So the Azumarill would have come in. I would have gone out to probably Roserade in that turn.
I would have left in the Azumarill because of Sap Sipper.
Yeah, that's actually the thing that would have been interesting, is I can't tell if I would have predicted huge power. Like, well, no, because that's the thing. I would have predicted huge power immediately, because that's the thing that you run on Azumarill. Like, when you run Azumarill, that's what you run. So I wouldn't have even thought that you would have been running Sap Sipper. So I probably would have gone with Energy Ball rather than Sludge Bomb, because it's... no, it's the same...
I mean, that's what you do with water, is
that's actually interesting, though, because it's the same base power. So I might have gone with Sludge Bomb. It would have been a sense of, would I have been aiming to poison you, or would I have been aiming for stat drops? And actually thinking about it, I might have gone for Sludge Bomb, because poison is a bigger pressure. Because the stat drop is, like, okay, but you can swap out and immediately get rid of that. So it would have been... because that's the thing. I would have gone for Energy Ball if I was going to try and pressure you into switching. Right. Which there was no reason to do.
Right.
So I probably actually would have gone Sludge Bomb, yeah. because there was no reason to try and pressure you into switching with Energy Ball.
Well, the thing is if you were going for the quick knockout, you probably would have gone with Energy Ball.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it would have been because Azumarill's bulky is the thing, and that's something I do know because I have used Azumarill repeatedly on things. I used Azumarill a lot in Dynamax,
right,
with the raids and stuff because I used it running huge power, but I used it partly for the bulk because it could take damage pretty well. Which obviously in how Dynamax worked, where you get 4 knockouts, like that would have been what I ran. So I probably would have gone for poison pressure rather than stat drops because the thing is stat drops are good.
Yeah.
Because they do more damage, but in that sense, I would have also... Well, the other thing is I would have been expecting a possible switch. Because, like I say, I would have been expecting huge power. So what I would have been expecting there was a possible switch in the face of Energy Ball or whatever grass move I was running, which in this case would have been Energy Ball. It could have been Giga Drain, I think, but in this case. So I would have been thinking possible switch. The only thing at that point that would have had a resist is Garg. No, the Garg was dead because the Clodsire came in. So Garg didn't resist it. Clodsire would have been dead at this point from the Sylveon revenge kill. So nothing else on this team would have resisted it. You wouldn't have been bringing in Sylveon. If I'd have used Energy Ball and you brought in Dragapult, then that would have been a fucking bad move on my part. So I would have gone for Sludge Bomb, I think, in that sense.
Right.
Or at least the logical move would have been Sludge Bomb. There was a distinct possibility that I wouldn't have. But, like, Sludge Bomb would probably have been more likely than Energy Ball because of, again, poison pressure. Because the thing with poison pressure is that it forces you to be really calculated about your switching and how long you stay in for. Because if you stay in too long, you're obviously going to take so much damage that it's an easy kill.
Right.
So I think that would have been a very interesting thing if... Because in the end, like, the only thing that it would have changed is that Clodsire was already at low health when I got Mega Alakazam out. Like, that would have been the only thing that changed, but that genuinely might have, like, actually won me the game. Or at least gotten me a lot... Yeah. It might have gotten me a lot closer, because like I say, if I was expecting a switch, I'd have hit... If I hit Azumarill with Sludge Bomb, I don't know if it would have done max damage. Or, like, if it would... I don't know if it would have killed, but it would have definitely done good damage. I would then have been locked into Sludge Bomb as well, so it's like, it wouldn't have mattered that you were Sap Sipper, which, again... like, legitimately, the fact that you bought Sap Sipper was probably the wildest fucking thing of the match. But yeah, like, that would have actually... No, it's fine. That's, honestly, like, that's good. That's actually one of the things, kind of, we said earlier, like, we made a joke about, like, out-predicting. Like, before everything, like, at lunchtime, we made a joke about out-predicting. Like, that would have been a case of over-predicting. Because I was not expecting Sap Sipper. I don't know if it would have made a massive difference, because, like I say, like, it would have been possible... Or it would have made a lot more sense for me to have gone for the pressure of poisoning you in order to try and make you switch, either switch more or like make you more reluctant bringing in the Azumarill again.
Right.
Because the Azumarill had a decent potential for threat on my team. Like, it was weak to the Iron Hands, but that was about it, sort of thing. Like, other than Roserade. So it had a decent potential to be reasonably threatening. Even before I knew it had fucking Iron Tail. So going for poison probably would have been a good idea, especially because, like I say, it would make you more reluctant to keep it in, which would have made switch potential a lot more interesting, which also would have made it a bit safer for, fucking, Sylveon.
Yeah.
Just in the sense of once I realized you had Iron Tail. So yeah, like, that is a really interesting sort of conundrum where, like, one little change, and yeah, that match possibly could have gone hella different. If I'd have just not been fucking overly attached to the Skell for no fucking reason.
Right.
Like, that was such
I'll be right back.
attachment. Yeah, no problem. Right, let me get rid of Team 7 real quick, because Team 7 is just me checking things. Yeah, like, that was fucking funny, honestly. Like, that was really good. But yeah, if I come back to this team... Yeah, there's a good couple of changes I need to make for this, because... mistakes were made, put it that way. And I didn't even need the type calculator during all of this. Right, I'm gonna dip out of the recording. But yeah, that was a fucking good match. That was a good match. Like, despite the fact that I had crippling depression, that was a good match. Oh god, Kara. Yeah, something fight me in Uno for real. Nah. Honestly, like, yeah, no. That was like no fucking hard feelings there. That was 80% my own stupidity that fucked me over there, and like Callie making weird plays that worked. Like 2 cases of being able to psych me out is fucking good. Like, well done. That's a salute at that point.
Okay, I'm back. I'm
Welcome
sorry
back.
about that.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, like that was a good fucking game. Like as much as like a lot of that loss came from my own fucking stupidity and like that turn one fucking Fisher scaring the shit out of me immediately. Like that was really well played on your part. There was a lot of really good psych outs. I guess that's the one thing, like, when
Yay!
you're used to the, like, that's the thing, like, nobody runs anything but huge power, like, Azumarill. So you come up against an Azumarill that's not huge power, you assume it's huge power, and it's like, oh, well, that's weird. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, the only reason everyone runs huge power is because it's just genuinely, it's just better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Azumarill is, like, a physical fucking Pokemon, from what I understand. Like, you run physical at Azumarill because it's got like the same physical and special basically. So you run it using huge power where it now has 100 physical instead. And it's like, so that's what you do. It was just like, so you bringing that in with Sap Sipper, it's just like, what the fuck? And then you bringing in, like I say, you brought in that Sylveon, and the Sylveon was a different set to what I was expecting, and I'm like, okay. Like, you did a lot of good psych outs there. And like I say, I guess that's the real fun of playing with players that don't know what the fuck they're doing, is they're gonna bring weird shit to the session. Because that's what that was. You brought some weird shit to the session. And just, between that and my own stupidity, it went real fucking well for you.
Yeah. I'm still kind of pissed that blunder thing never fucking
I
worked.
really want to know how that... Hold on. Let me quickly just get rid of my window capture so I can open Bulbapedia. It's called the blunder policy, yeah?
Yeah, blunder policy. It's a single use, but...
Hello, TCG. I'm not talking about the TCG. TCG fucking showed up. I didn't even realize it was in the TCG. Ah, it doesn't activate if a one-hit knockout move misses. That's actually one of the things in its effects disqualification.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It doesn't say that at all in this thing.
Well, to be fair, Showdown doesn't have all the information because it's like, it's not going to have all of the details. And there's a lot of little things, so Google your things, I guess. But yeah, no, Blunder Policy does not activate if a one-hit knockout move misses, if Triple Kick, Triple Axle, or Population Bomb ends early by failing one of the subsequent accuracy checks, or if a move misses due to the target being in a semi-invulnerable turn of a move, so something like Fly, or Dig, or Dive.
Right.
The Blunder Policy only activates if a move misses, not for other reasons it might fail due to immunity, protection by protection move, whatever. So yeah. I guess that explains that, is that because it's an OHKO move, it doesn't count, essentially. That actually kind of sucks, because that would have been a really fucking funny strategy to bring. Is like, you bring an OHKO move that is supposed to either it kills a thing, or it misses and gives you 2 stages of speed.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a funny fucking strat. Yeah, coming back to this team, I think things I would change. Like I say, I'd run Mixmensed instead of Roaring Moon.
Right.
I'd probably end up running Charizard instead of Skeledirge. As much as I like Skeledirge, like, that thing was the fucking weak link on that team, well, actually, that's fair. Either I'd change the Skeledirge to be an actual decent fucking set, or I'd run, one of my Megazards. But Megazard would only work if I wasn't running Megazam, and I quite like Mega Alakazam can be decent, even though it's fragile as fuck. But yeah, like, because what other grass moves do you get? Type, filter, grass. Yeah, okay, I looked this up earlier. So we get Seed Bomb and Solar Beam. So the only reason I'd be running something with grass is, like, if I could pray. And yeah, my other option would have been Thunderfang, which is even fucking worse as an option for a potential water type counter. But, like, that's the thing, like, that's the other thing, is I didn't really need to run a water counter on this Pokemon. is because it's like, what would have actually been the point of a water counter on a Pokemon when I've got Iron Hands, I've got Roserade, I've got Energy Ball on Alakazam, I believe. Yeah, so Alakazam had Energy Ball. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was doing with this Roaring Moon. It's really stupid. Like, this Roaring Moon was dumb. I should not have put Draco Meteor on it. But I should have just run Mixed Ments with Moxie or something. That would have been so much fucking smarter. Because... Hello, Salad Mannerisms. I love you. Yeah, Mixed Ments with Moxie. Because, like, Intimidate is good, but fuck Intimidate. But yeah, what would I have run here? What do I run on my Mixed Ments? Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Flamethrower. That's it. Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Flamethrower, and there's something else, I think. Not fucking Hydro Pump. What are you on about? I didn't even know it got Hydro Pump. I guess Shadow Claw. There's usually something else I run on this, and I've completely forgot what the other move is that I run, but I usually run something else. I think it's Thunderbolt. You get Thunderbolt? You don't get Thunderbolt. Why the fuck do I think you get Thunderbolt?
Okay.
But yeah, like, point is I'd be running something else that is probably Mixed Ments, and then... God knows what I'd do to Skeledirge, but it probably actually would just be that I'd get rid of the stupid attempt at giving it coverage thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have just given it, like, a special set instead, and just make it that. Because... honestly, there was no need to attempt for coverage on this fucking Pokemon. The Outrage was the other move that it had. It had Outrage, and I'm like, that is possibly the only thing that, like, maybe I want to keep Outrage, just in case, but if this thing gets literally anything else that I can use, like, it gets Disarming Voice. That's basically just better than Outrage, because it doesn't lock me into a fucking move.
Right.
And it still hits the Dragon types, which is partly why I had it, as a it's literally, like, a lot of my moveset on this was, in case of emergency, backup character.
Right.
Like, they had very, in case of emergency, break glass sort of vibes to them.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, if something went terribly fucking... But, like, I had so much coverage that, like, if something went wrong enough that I needed to use Skeledirge as my grass Pokemon instead of my Roserade, like... or, like, Alakazam, it was like, what the fuck was I doing, honestly, with a lot of this team? It was not full out.
Yeah. So that was fun.
It was fun. I had a good time doing that. I got my ass handed to me. It was great.
I was not expecting that.
I know, right? That's always one of my favorite parts with this kind of thing. It's like, was I expecting this? No. Did it work? Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, though. It was good. Good game.
Yes, it was a good game. Thank you. And thank you for the breakdown, too.
Actually, okay, so you know how you say the blunder policy thing? Yeah, it does say if it misses due to accuracy. So yeah, that does, like, yeah, I see what you mean where you say, like, that feels like it should activate on an Oko move, because it is technically an accuracy miss, but...
Yeah.
Honestly, I get why it wouldn't, because that would be fucking terrifying, is, like, you bring an Oko move with a specific thing of either you're going to die or I'm getting a 2-stage plus attack speed bonus.
That's why I wanted it, because it was like, dude, this move will miss 70% of the time.
Yeah.
This is perfect!
Yeah. Oh well. Some of the things that would have, like, that was also fun about this is I'm really glad that none of us fell into the normal AG trap, which is you stack your team with fucking megas and random other shit. Because I think you can just straight up make a team that just has Insta-Mega Rayquaza on it.
Wow, that's boring.
Because you can just put Rayquaza Mega in, and as long as you have, the fucking, what is it, Dragon Ascent? As long as you have Dragon Ascent, it will enter the battle with, I'll give you a list in a minute, because there's a fuck ton. But it will just enter the battle with instantaneous fucking Mega, and it's like, you can just do that. You can just stack this sort of shit on here, and it's like, why would you ever do
bullshit.
this? It's very boring. I'm gonna put Iron Hands back in this team really quick so that I can deal with that later, and then... There were so many other things that I could have run from this, because, like, Iron Hands is scary, but I could have done fucking anything else. I nearly bought Iron Valiant, actually, before I realized that would then give me...
scary.
That would have been interesting, yeah. I just realized too late, or I realized quite quickly of, like, that's a fucking second fairy type, and it's a fighting fairy. Like, that's an interesting fucking set. Right, how can I... I'd have to get another team out, hang on. New team, add Pokemon, no, sort Pokemon, fuck you, Among Us. I want to sort moves by accuracy. Okay, so moves that fucking like missing. So like the powder moves miss a lot. Things like focus blast will. Let me just quickly remove Windows capture. Open Bulbapedia. We've got like 20 minutes left. There is no, or 15 minutes left. Like, is there actually a reason to switch over to fucking shiny hunting at this point?
Not really, no.
No. Okay, this is sorted alphabetically. I don't want sorted alphabetically. I would like move as sorted by fucking accuracy. That would be nice.
I'm gonna turn off the display capture.
Yeah, that's a plan. Right, sort descending accuracy. Which I now scroll past. Okay, so I now open Bulbapedia. I don't know how well you can see it, but so aside from the 30% moves, which are the Oko ones, which have the custom formula, Zap Cannon, Dynamic Punch, a 50%. Dark Void is Darkrai exclusive, so we don't worry about that, and it's got a different it's got different accuracy.
Oh, damn it. Posse, don't encourage this.
Don't encourage what?
Yace's massive fucking belch in the background.
Ah. Yeah. So
I think she's trying to summon Zool.
Good plan. So yeah, Zap Cannon, Dynamic Punch, Inferno, Sing, Supersonic, Grass Whistle, Hypnosis, which is 60. I'm gonna quickly go over here and I'm gonna open Gar. Hello, Gar. Can you get Dynamic Punch? You can't. Thank fuck for that. Sort by accuracy. What does Gar run? So yeah, Gar's moveset is mostly, aside from Fissure, the lowest thing you could do was Stone Edge at 80%. Which, obviously, you know, it's Stone Edge. Like, that would have actually been quite a decent one, because it's also got high crit hit.
Mm.
So that would have been an interesting one to try using as your set off, because it's either... Like, it's a 100 power stab move already, so that's, what, 150?
Mm-hmm.
And then high crit hit ratio, which, like, doubles you. And then if you miss, you get a +2. So that would have been a better way to do it than Fissure, I guess.
Wait, did we just lose internet?
No, I've still got you.
Pix has still got me. Yace has got no internet.
Huh.
I've got internet.
stream is
Everybody
still
says
going.
I'm still streaming, so...
Interesting.
My phone's still got internet.
God is punishing Yace for the burp. The god of the Wi-Fi has decided.
Alright, the stream's still going, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so, yeah, running Stone Edge probably would have been your best way to try and get that to proc, because it's a scary fucking move.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that was fucking fun. Like, honestly, that was entertaining.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I got my ass handed to me, and it was so much fucking fun. I love doing this.
It was weird. I was not expecting to, like, the fact that Fissure kicked off straight off the bat was just like
that first turn Fissure was legitimately like hilarious. Like, that was like, oh well, I guess that's how this is going then. That sets the fucking tone for this. Is I'm going to get my ass beat. It's like, I'm getting given a turn 1 insta-kill. Okay, here we fucking go.
And the thing is, Fissure is one of the mostly useless moves, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not one that's used very often.
Which I don't get, but okay.
The thing is people, like, value to accuracy a lot more sometimes. Or, like, cause it's a value game between accuracy and damage, right? I go for accuracy. A lot of the time, if I'm trying to make a moveset, I'm going for lower power moves that will hit. Because I'd rather fucking hit than kill a lot of the time. Like, if I am gonna die, I'd rather get guaranteed damage than a potential life-saving kill that might miss.
Right.
Because it's pretty fucking likely to miss. As we like to say, if it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason we call it focus miss. That fucker doesn't hit shit. And it's like, it's like 70%. It's like, that fucker just doesn't hit things.
I was tempted to stick red card on everything
Oh
because I
my
thought it would be
god.
funny and you'd
Red
be
card on
so mad
everything would
about
be
it.
fucking funny, especially just, like, because this team was just top tier garbage for a lot of it as well, like, this team relied a lot on its ability to be switched in and out as of will. And,
Mm-hmm.
like, the two things that happen there is my own stupidity in losing Pokemon. Like, the loss of Salamence quite easy obviously didn't help. The direct shit, the direct miss, the best melee weapon in the game, yeah. But yeah, like, the loss of Salamence early, or Roaring Moon early didn't help. But the fact that, like, I was stupid and lost Alakazam, the fact that, like, I did, like, the Stealth Rocks put the pressure on me that meant that I couldn't switch quite as freely, things like that, like, if those rocks had gone up at the start of the match, I would have been fucking weeping, honestly. Like, I'd have been sobbing. I was like, I should have bought, I should have listened to my instincts and bought Spin. Like, fuck me. That went poorly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was still really fun. I think it's funny as well. We were like, yeah, let's well, we maybe can do a second match after this. We can mix and match teams 1 and 2 together and make a third team. It's like, no, that took 2 hours to do one match and a talk through.
Yeah.
That really just goes to show how well we can just hold a conversation about things.
Yeah.
Christ on a bike. That went well. It was a nightmare. That team fucking sucked balls. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit down and work on this at some point. I need to figure out what I want to replace hands with. On the plus side, I at least have my my mixed ments. I love mixed ments. I should run physical ments more than I run mixed ments, but I like mixed ments just in case. I say, looking at it and being like, actually, I should just swap to Fire Fang because despite the fact that it's a power drop and an accuracy drop, I'm still using physical on this fucking Pokemon, so I might as well. But yeah, I need to figure out what I'm replacing Iron Hands with on this team and maybe something else, and then maybe we can poke this another time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna replace Azumarill with something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I can tell you what I'm fucking definitely doing. Getting rid of the fucking Choice Scarf on this Roserade. Because you know what the other fun thing about this raid was? Is it's Natural Cure. Which is actually weird. I think most people use Technician and low power moves. I put Natural Cure on it for the specific thing of like, well, if it gets a status, I can get rid of it. Because I'm not going to use anything with lower than 60 power. Like, I'm running Gleam, Bomb, Ball, and Ball, and it's like all of those are above that level. So it's like, what the fuck was the point? Although, I really should have been running Giga Drain and not Energy Ball, really. That would have been the other thing, is like, it's less power, but I get health back from it.
Right.
And if I'd have been thinking straight like that,
I did like the leftovers on the Azumarill.
Yeah.
That worked really well, I think.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. This is the sort of thing that early time stuff like this is. It's building and it's testing and it's a lot of fun to do that sort of thing. It's just the rest of it, like when you hit meta points and it's just like, I can't be bothered anymore. Oh god, Credilli. That's a fucking thing I haven't seen in donkeys. How do you fucking counter Credilli again? Is it just cry? I think that's the counter. That sounds about right. I remember old format competitive counter of Credilli sobbing.
Alright.
I think I'm joking. Like, that fucker literally was just a Pokemon that you just cried about because it was just miserable. You gave it fucking Storm Drain and just cried.
That's fantastic.
Like, that thing was one of those Pokemon that you looked at and you were like, tastes like fear. Either that, or I think some people once upon a time would give it fucking suction cups. Why was it suction cups? There was a suction cup strat at one point, I think, that was so fucking stupid. And I don't remember why. Because it's the anti-red card. Like, that's what it does. Because it's like, it's not like Shadow Tag or anything, it just stops you from being switched out by other people. And I think either it was a pre-fairy type Dragon Tail counter, because some people would use Dragon Tail Shuffle, where you'd use Dragon Tail to force switch outs. So it was made to prevent that in a time where we didn't have the fairy type to, like, stop that. Or there was, like, some other stupid reason that you would carry suction cups, but, like, I swear there was once upon a time there was a suction cups Credilli incident, and, like, it was one of those moments where you just sort of look at people like, what the fuck are you thinking with this team? Which, in all fairness, honestly, is probably the sign that you're winning. Like, I think if you're looking at the other person and going, what? I think they're winning. They're at the very least winning the mind games. Christ on a bike.
I just thought of something that's gonna make you kill me.
Okay.
I'm not telling you.
Oh. Well, okay then.
I'm gonna use it against you. It's gonna be hilarious. You're gonna murder me.
Oh, well, I guess we're doing this again at some point. Okay, I'll have to build some teams. But yeah, that...
Wait, this was fun. I would like to do it again if we
can.
Oh,
excellent. Yeah. Yeah, I guess the one thing that's about this is, like... Because I remember when we did randoms, we got bored quite quick. And I guess that's the one thing with the randoms is, like... Randoms, it is just a random fucking team. Like, you've got no control over it. So it does become a bit dull in that it's just, you know... If you fucking lose, you lose. Because sometimes the other person gets 6 legendaries. Which I've seen before. They got a fucking Calyrex Shadow Rider at one point as well, which is just unhinged powerful. But, like, they walked into that fight and they got 6 legendaries from the randomizer, and it was like, okay. Fuck me, I guess. But yeah, like, being able to, like, build your own team and talk through what you're thinking of, like, when you... Like, what you were thinking when you build it and what you were thinking when you... actually did things. Like, yeah, that does make this a lot more fun. Sometimes coordinating strategies can be the one saving fucking grace about things. It's like workshopping, but, like, obviously not written.
Yeah.
It's comfortable, though. It's quite fun. But yeah, this was a good time. Like, as much as I got my ass beat, like, I deserved it. I made some stupid decisions, and Callie made some fucking just mental plays that were really good and well played off. You also made some fucking stupid plays that still somehow played off, which was... well, to be fair, that's just the meta. That's just how it works. You do that in competitive. You make dumb decisions and sometimes it works.
Mm-hmm.
Good fun, though. So yeah, I'd be down to do this again. Yeah. I don't know when. Because I don't think we want to make this too...
do this every Friday, but...
God. Yeah, I was about to say, like, you wouldn't want to make this too routine, because, like, this would... Building a team, and then testing a team, and then building a team, and then testing a team, like, that would just get really dull.
Wait, you tested it?
No.
Okay.
That's what I mean, like, testing the team. We fight. We fight with each other, we're testing the team.
Oh, I see.
The team's getting its test. It's called, is it gonna fucking die? The team gets its test. The test is called sink or swim. Pray to God that you swim. But yeah, like, building a team every fucking week for this sort of thing would be just boring. At least, I think the thing is it would be funny, because we'd probably get to the point where we'd have so many different teams together that we could, like, mix and match, like I said. Because one of the things I suggested when we originally thought that this was going to take, like, an hour, and then we do, like, an hour shiny hunting, was, well, we could do one match, and then we could mix and match things from team 1 and 2, and make a team 3, and then fight with that team. And that could be interesting. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, no, we're 2 hours in, we're not doing that, it'll take us another 2 hours to mix and match a fucking team, fight, and then do this walkthrough.
Right.
It's like, as much as I'd be down for a 4-hour stream, that sounds like a terrible idea. Honestly, I think it's impressive that we managed to make essentially one battle and then a recap of that battle, A, last that long, and B, actually be interesting. Like, I'm not bored, and that's the weird part. Because I expected to be like, okay, we have talked enough about our fucking conversation, let's do something else. But that worked, and that was fun. God have mercy on our soul the next time I fight Callie. She's gonna bring a horror show, and it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be hilarious. You're gonna be so mad at me.
I hope you better write it down. I think you're starting to popcorn, actually, so we should probably end up soon.
Yeah. Well, I've already started it.
Excellent. Yeah, I was about to say, like, I hope you've got that written down, because I would like to experience the cry. That would be funny. But yeah, I think next time, to be fair, like, I don't know if next time is going to be actually, like, I'm going to bring Pokemon, or I'm going to bring a meme and see what happens. Like, that's going to be the thing.
I'm definitely bringing a meme.
Yeah, like, because if you bring, like, if one person brings a meme and the other person brings serious, then obviously the other person just fucking wins. So it's like, okay. Unless the meme is good enough, I guess. Ah, ye olden days of Suicide Zard. Anyway, we should probably end this so that my fucking mic stops trying to die, or everything just stops trying to die. So, hold on, I need to get my goddamn stream info up, because some people did things. That's not the actual window I wanted. I wanted stream stats, activity feed. There it is. Okay, things, right. Thank you all so much for watching, though. It has been so much fucking fun. This is Unhinged. Yeah, definitely do this again. This was fun. God help me. The local tea potato, thank you for the follow. Dying Fox, thank you for the follow. Posse, thank you for the resub, much appreciated. To Dying Fox and local tea potato, I hope you have a good time hanging out in this stream. For everybody else, I will, again, all being well, I'll see you on Monday. Things went a bit to shit last week. I apologize. But all being well, I will see you on Monday. We will play more Fallen Order. And it will be great. And I will probably cry. Am I still on... Where am I at the moment? Am I still on Kashyyyk? I think I'm still on Kashyyyk, aren't I? Have I moved? No, I'm pretty sure I'm still on Kashyyyk, which means I'm going to be starting to cry next episode again. Good, good, good. Help. But yeah, other than that, I will see you then. Hopefully, again, all being well. Yeah, that's all. Tatara bit, everyone.
All right, and on my end, thank you everyone so much for being here. Thank you for coming. I had a good time, and I hope you did too. This was fun. It's definitely not something we're going to be doing often, but yeah, but it's definitely something we're going to be doing again. So I hope you enjoyed it. Because you're going to be seeing it again. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll be back.
It'll be back. Anyway,
I'm bringing backs next time. I love backs.
Oh dear.
I'm just gonna bring my fucking tanks.
That's terrifying.
I'm gonna bring a walking dinosaur tank. It's great. Just bring all the bitches.
Lovely.
Just realized some horrible... I could introduce you to the horrible side of things real fucking easy next time. There's some stuff I could bring. I'm not gonna. I might. I'm probably not gonna.
Well, now I'm terrified. Okay,
no, it's
great.
fine. I hate most of those Pokemon, so I probably won't use them.
Okay, then. All right, then. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.
Tatara bit, everyone.